Welcome to WNKX Live, your home for Hickman County sports. And tonight, we have the semifinals for the regional tournament here at J.E. Cisco Memorial Gymnasium in Hickman County High School. Tonight, we have the East Hickman Lady Eagles against the Stewart County Lady Rebels. Now, we saw the game prior to this one just a few moments ago. The Cheatham County Lady Cubs were victorious over Huntington. So that means Cheatham County will be playing in the championship Wednesday night. Now, the winner of this game will go on to play Cheatham on Wednesday to determine the regional champion. And Cam, I'm expecting a good ball game here tonight. The Lady Eagles are riding a lot of momentum. They're 18-11, 5-2 in the district. And Cam, their win in the quarterfinals was a big one against Waverly. They were victorious 66-27 in a ball game that left no doubt in the minds of anyone. So Cam, I think if East continues that, we'll see them in the championship on Wednesday.
Yeah, Josh, absolutely, but it's going to require a pretty clean game tonight and an emotionally settled one. Stewart County has brought the student section with them. They have come out plentiful in numbers, and they are loud already at the start of this game. So the East Hickman Eagles are going to need to play a clean game that gets everyone involved. Yes, the star player is Ruby Cox, but they're going to need everyone to step up and play a complete game.
Absolutely, Cam. And, you know, this environment, although there's not a Centerville team involved, the Eagle fan base and the Lady Rebel fan base, they have both shown up and shown out tonight. The Stewart County student section is packed, and East Hickman is the exact same way. We would expect no different in a regional semifinal game. We appreciate you being with us tonight on YouTube. We encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already, and tell your friends about us here at WNKX. So here we go. We are just about ready to be underway here from J.E. Cisco. And the tip-off is won by the Lady Eagles. It's Brooklyn Adams up the floor.
And Josh, Stewart County coming out in a man-to-man defense. They look pretty zeroed in on Ruby Cox, so definitely game plan well for this.
Drilling left gives, Adams drives. Good defense there played by the Lady Rebels. It was Jalen Newman who denied the shot. And your starting five for both teams tonight for Stewart County: number 10, McKaylee Wallace; number 14, Faith Dacus; number 21, Angie Nelson; number 33, Jalen Newman; and number 44, Nominee Bridges. So East Hickman with the ball on the offensive. Fisher was looking for Cox on the right side, but it's tipped out of bounds. Your starting lineup for the East Hickman Lady Eagles: number 1, Addie Fisher; number 3, Aubrey Fisher; number 4, Kelsey Capps; number 21, Brooklyn Adams; and number 23, Ruby Cox. Fisher tries to drive, but has it taken away. And now it's Stewart down the floor, passing, knocked out of bounds by Fisher, saving what would have been an easy layup. So nice hustle there by the Lady Eagles to get back to the other end.
And Josh, it looks like East also comes out in a man-to-man defense. I'm interested to see how they're going to play these Lady Rebels. As a wide-open layup, and she misses off the...
So now it's Cox down the floor, past the logo, feeds, Adams dribbles in and wants to take it up to the basket. The shot is off the mark, but Capps picks it up. Capps feeds, Cox in the paint, spins, puts it up off the glass, and it falls. An athletic play by Ruby Cox to get the game's first bucket.
Josh, East now in a full court press, but just not a difficult one at all. Easily brought over the half-court line by the Rebels.
So given up top, Nelson. Gives, Newman drives, kicks it from the corner, Dacus, no good, off the mark. And rebounded by Addie Fisher. Fisher gives to Aubrey. Now up top to Cox, swings it quickly to the right. Three attempted, Addie Fisher, bang!
And Josh, that's going to be big tonight. The Fisher twins are going to need to be big from beyond tonight so they can stretch this floor out. Stewart County defense hasn't been too intense on ball handlers so far outside of the first possession of the game.
So Stewart still looking for their first bucket. They still have a goose egg on the scoreboard. Driving in is Dacus, left-hander off the glass, and it goes in. An acrobatic shot gets Stewart on the board.
And Josh, that is a tough finish right there going opposite hand, driving across with a defender in her face. Great job focusing on that finish there.
And Cam, what a ball game we have in store. Of these two teams, very competitive, very scrappy, and it is loud in here, Cam.
It certainly is, Josh, and rightfully so. I mean, we're playing tournament basketball.
The ball knocked out of bounds. It will stay with the Lady Eagles. Cox inbounds from in front of the Stewart student section. Goes across to the backcourt to Addie Fisher. Guarded closely by Newman. Gets it over to Caps. Fisher. Dribbles left, gives back to Caps. Tough pass inside. Cox looking, dribbles, steps. Now gives back out to Addie Fisher. Fisher drives, left elbow. Off balance shot is no good, but a whistle and a foul.
Josh, not a lot of contact there, but irregardless, sending East to the free throw line.
And Fisher knocks down free throw number 1.
Josh, this Stewart County student section is locked in right now. They were quick on those chants.
And the second free throw falls. And Cam, to your point, they are allowed, but I mean, when you drive 2 hours, you may as well make the very most of it.
Yeah, Josh, if you're going to take the time, you better do it right.
And they have been doing that thus far. And dribbling in hard is Newman off the glass, no good. Rebounded by the Eagles. And a pass forced there by Adams. Gets taken away by the Rebels. 3-point on the way, no good. And it's tipped out of bounds. The officials will signal Eagle ball.
And Josh, Stewart County has just not ran a lot of offense. East has barely had to play any defense against them because they're just coming down and kind of shooting the first shot that they see. I don't know if that's typically how they play, but odd style.
And wide open is Aubrey Fisher underneath for her first bucket of the night. Some nice ball movement there by the Lady Eagles. So 9-2 early. And Cam, we've seen the Eagles recently. We know them as a second half team. But Cam, they are showing their first half prowess here tonight.
Yeah, and if you don't come out firing in a game like this, you're just not ready to go. So it's a good sign to see them this fired up this early.
3 attempted. Wallace knocks it down for the Lady Rebels.
And Josh, there we see Stewart County ran just a little bit more offense, an open shot.
And Aubrey Fisher shot is off the mark, air ball, and it goes out of bounds, and it will stay with East as it goes off the junior McKaylee Wallace. But Cam, really, we know how talented both of these teams are. Stewart County, we know that they took Huntington to the limit and beat them late. And Cox tries to drive in, the shot no good, but she's fouled and will head to the line.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't the number 1 seed out of their district for no reason, right? Obviously, they're a talented basketball team. So knowing that, you know, East coming out the way that they have is a great way to start the basketball game, just being the aggressor here. It seems Stewart County just come out really slow.
And Cox knocks down both free throws. And Cam, the last time these Lady Eagles were on the court, we know Ruby Cox was so efficient from the free throw line. So Stewart County, that's definitely the last girl they want to send to shoot free throws.
Yeah, Josh, you know, and knocking down free throws is going to be super big in this game.
And Cox pulls up and knocks down the mid-range 2. Her 6th point on the game, and a timeout is called. So the Lady Eagles have Stewart on the ropes, but it's still very early with just under 3.5 minutes to play in this first quarter, 13-5 East up.
Josh, I love how aggressive East has been with their shot selection. A lot of times early in the game when they were not looking their best, they weren't very aggressive offensively, and they never really got anything going. All we have seen from them early in this game is them be aggressive offensively. If they can be the aggressor all night long, then absolutely that's what they need to do.
So we're coming out of our timeout break.
Josh, I think we're about to see something crazy. East Hickman students look as if they are going over to the Hickman County student section and they're joining forces.
Now, Cam, we hear the student section of the Hickman County Bulldogs chanting defense for the East Hickman Lady Eagles. This is a crossover that no one expected, and a young Lady Eagle is on the floor. It's Aubrey Fisher. She gets up under her own power, but she is walking with a bit of a limp here. We have a trainer out there to check on her as she'll have to sub out of the game. And entering in for her will be number 2, Lauren Terlecki. So hopefully she's all right.
We have to cheer for East. Because, like, they don't have, so apparently Stewart can't beat
Driving in off the glass.
And Josh, I do believe that there has been a fire lit under Stewart County. Right there was the most aggressive they have played in that short time of possession. So I look to see them turn it up right here.
The and one attempted there by Faith Dacus, the sophomore. She misses the free throw, and it goes out of bounds into the East bench. So here we go. Stewart gets the ball back. Gives to Dacus. Back over to Newman. Newman dribbles right, now into the paint, bounce pass, feeds. The shot is denied by the Lady Eagles. That was Nominee Bridges trying to go up, and a foul is called. And that foul will be called against East Hickman.
Now, Josh, Stewart County is a pretty solid-sized team. East matches up decently well, but I would say player for player, Stewart County is a little longer, a little more athletic, so plays like that from Ruby and defensive rotation is going to be huge.
And both teams are coached tonight. One, the Lady Eagles, coached by Aaron Taylor. Stewart County, coached by Gilbert Harper. The pass inbounded by Stewart. It'll be Newman. The ball knocked loose by Adams, but too much contact. And it'll be a reach-in foul against the Lady Eagles. Cam, I know we've already mentioned this, but seeing blue and red mixed in one student section, it's crazy.
It is insane, but you know what? We're here to see some tournament ball. Crazy things happen in March, Josh. That's what it's about.
We know there's a good rivalry, but at the end of the day, it says Hickman County all the same on the jersey. We're all representing one county, and that is on display here tonight. Ball is knocked out of bounds, and it will stay with Stewart.
Yeah, another great defensive help side play from East.
A quick catch release, corner three, knocked down by Faith Dacus.
And Josh, I'm going to say that's to be expected throughout tonight. Stewart County seems like a team that isn't concerned about waiting and getting a best shot, but just getting a pretty good look and putting that thing up with confidence.
And the pass from Fisher looking for Cox, oversails it. Now driving in, Stewart misses the layup. Rebound, putback is good, and one. Angie Nelson, the senior, will head to the line to try to cap off the three-point play to tie this game.
And Josh, if you're East, you have to stay within yourself. You got to understand, basketball is a game of runs. One team's going to punch, the other team's going to punch back, and it's just going to be that way the whole game. You have to control how much you let up. So if you're East, you either have to go capitalize on that in this next possession, or you just take better care of it on defense, take better care of being in the right position and rebounding.
So the and one free throw is good. We're tied up at 13 all with less than 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. A quarter that has been exciting, it has been rowdy, it has been electric. Cox, left wing, guarded by Dacus. Goes all the way over to Addie Fisher, who's met quickly by Newman.
And Josh, Stewart County's in a 2-3 right now that just looks tough to play against. They're all over the place.
The mid-range from Caps is no good. And Cam, we know she is so good from underneath as Kelsey Caps. So a rare miss right there, but I expect her to be getting a lot more looks from underneath.
Yeah, Josh, absolutely right. And when Kelsey gets going, East gets going.
And a corner three, Wallace comes up well short. A loose ball hits the baseline, and it will be East ball.
And Josh, this 2-3, it looks to be a 2-2-1 that goes back into a 2-3 zone.
And a lot of contact there as Ruby Cox was looking for Kelsey Capps near the top of the key. And the foul will be called against Carly Bizagno, who has just recently entered into the game, also a senior of the Lady Rebels. Subbing in is number 12, Neely Cook, a freshman. Coming out is number 10, McKaylee Wallace.
We're going to find out tomorrow. They better be over there.
So Cox inbounds to Fisher.
They better be over there.
Fisher pulls up a deep three, short off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Stewart. It's Cook. We're going to fight our way out, and does, and gets it out to Jalen Newman.
And Josh, I don't mind the aggressive take there, but you can get that shot later on in the offense. Try to get something going. East plays a slower pace on offense.
Corner three, Nelson. Shot is no good. It's still loose. Picked up, and now given out back to Dacus. Shot on the way, no good. And Ruby Cox and Neely Cook going to battle for the ball, and a jump is called.
And Josh, this basketball game is all over the place. And it's not a very clean game, but my word, is this one going to be a good one to watch. Now, something really interesting is this. So Stewart County is meeting East at half court in almost a half court trap. It's not something you see a lot, but it's really effective with a team that doesn't have elite ball handlers, which East is one of those.
Cox, left wing, gets out up top near the volleyball line to Addie Fisher, who drives, now kicks. Adams. Bounce pass to Cox, tries from three. She got it.
And Josh, that three-point shot is going to be so big in this game.
And as the first quarter expires, a half-court shot attempted by the Lady Rebels. No good, well short. And at the end of one, East 16, Stewart 13. Plenty of ball left. We'll be right back.
Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Tavern style pizza is our thing.
Why couldn't you be happy with deep dish like all the tourists? That's good.
And you just had to make it so crispy and delicious.
It's perfection.
They put the toppings all the way to the edge.
It's cut in the shareable square.
That's delicious.
What's your deal, Pizza Hut?
Your secret's out, Chicago. Try any of our large Chicago tavern-style recipes for just $12 each. Hey, Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology. Sorry, Chicago. No one out pizza's the Hut.
Apology accepted.
And welcome back to J.E. Cisco. It was a great first quarter. And I can imagine this game will only get better. 3 points separate these two teams in this region semifinal matchup. Of course, the winner of this game will play the Cheatham County Lady Cubs on Wednesday night in the championship. Dribbling in Newman, lost her footing, and a walk is called. So it'll be East Hickman on the offensive, trying to capitalize and widen this lead. Cox, left side of the floor, gives to the corner. It's Aubrey Fisher, back to Cox. Over to Addie Fisher, dribbles in. Steps through, the shot is up, no good. Oh my goodness. And number 21, Angie Nelson, hit the floor hard as those two young ladies were vying for the ball.
And Josh, that was as clean as a try to rip away the ball as you could get. Some Stewart County fans wanted a foul to be called, but that was completely clean.
So Cox guarded closely by Dacus. Back to Addie Fisher. Quickly, Aubrey Fisher from three. Too strong. Rebounded. Adams No, but it's ripped away by Stewart. Loose ball on the floor. Newman was fighting for it, and it goes off of Brooklyn Adams, so it will be Lady Rebel ball. And my word, what a ball game so far.
And Josh, this has been certainly a very physical game so far. Refs letting the girls play. And I respect it. They have called what fouls needed to be called. There's been a few that you would like to be called, but they could also be considered a little ticky-tack. So I like the officiating so far, but just a physical game right now.
Driving a nice move off the glass, can't cap it off. And Caps with the rebound, has it knocked loose by Jalen Newman as it goes out of bounds into the bleachers, and it will be Lady Eagle ball. And it's Fisher up the floor, crossing midcourt. Finds Caps, Caps back to Fisher. Cox tries to fire a bullet to Caps underneath, nobody home, and now it's Stewart with the takeaway. A lot of contact there, no call.
Josh, I said it was physical right there. Probably should have been called a foul, but not called right there. I respect it. They're just calling the game how they're seeing it.
And another takeaway here as both teams going back and forth in the turnover department. Cox goes over to Fisher. Deep three from the parking lot, no good. And Cox fighting Nominate Bridges for the rebound. And a jump ball will be called, and the possession arrow will favor the Lady Rebels.
And Josh, I would love to see East run a little more offense, get in a little bit more of a rhythm. You know, they're kind of shooting quick right now. They're a team that plays not necessarily a slow offense, but a purposeful offense. And they're kind of not doing that right now. I think a part of just the air in the game is making them do that.
Driving in from the baseline, shot is no good. Bridges with the rebound and the two. So our first points in what has felt like forever. And it brings Stewart County to a 1-point deficit. Fisher bounce pass off the foot of Newman. So can we see a lot of physicality in this ball game? And it's still early, right? We're used to physical games taking place later on when teams are tired, fatigued, and frustrated. So I can't imagine what things will look like down the line here in this contest.
Yeah, Josh, you're absolutely right. And it's Ruby from downtown.
And that was a deep three, no good. Bridges with the rebound for the Lady Rebels.
That's not a typical take from her, but, you know, she had shot it well up to that point. A little heat check, nothing wrong with that.
9 points for Cox on the night so far, and I'm sure she'll have plenty more. Newman was driving, a lot of contact there, and they'll get Brooklyn Adams.
And Josh, something that East is going to need to be careful of is foul trouble tonight. They're not a very deep team, right? They have pretty much a 6-man rotation. Because of that, they're going to have to be really careful. That makes it difficult in these tournament games where it all comes down to the last little bit. So if they can stay as a turnover there.
And that was Aubrey Fisher with the takeaway. Down the floor, takes it all the way, and the shot is denied by Jalen Newman. Now it's Stewart on a drive of their own. The ball was knocked loose by Caps, but they'll say she got a little too handsy, and a foul will be called. So 4:35 left in the first half, and that was Kelsey Caps' first foul. Bounce pass in. The shot denied by Cox. It was Wallace trying to go up to the rim, and it goes out of bounds, and it will stay with the Lady Rebels. Pass is inbound and sails over the head of Jalen Newman, and it will be East ball.
And a really, really good job of East just containing everyone, not letting them get open. Not an easy thing to do on an inbounds play, but Stewart County really didn't have a great inbounds play drawn up, and that's kind of what caused it, is just not having a good plan.
Adams gives to Addie Fisher. Fisher now drives in. A lot of contact. She puts up a shot. No good. And Bridges and Adams collide in the paint. And it will be Stewart County ball. So Cam, to your point, they've been very lenient thus far. We've seen a lot of contact, but they're letting them play. Bounce pass knocked away by Cox. Picked up by the Eagles. Addie Fisher into the paint, and it's denied by Dacus. Stewart turns around the other way. Bounce pass, Bridges off the glass, and the Lady Rebels have taken back the lead.
And Josh, that was just good transition offense there from the Lady Rebels.
And Cox drives in. A foul is called. Now, I believe, yes, they will give her a couple of shots. We were unsure of when that foul took place. So a couple on the way for Ruby. Ruby misses her second free throw after making the first. And Cam, Ruby Cox missed free throws are very rare. We don't see them all too often.
Yeah, few and far between. Ruby is so talented at the free throw line.
And a walk is called. One too many steps for Miss Newman of Stewart County. Great defense in the interior by the team in black and blue. Of course, the East Hickman Lady Eagles in the black uniforms, blue lettering. Stewart County wearing the white. Aubrey Fisher goes to Adams, tries to quickly swing it to Addie Fisher. Dacus got a hand on it, but he still possesses it, and the pass is batted down by Nelson. Nelson in the paint, off the glass, no good. Loose ball, out of bounds. The officials say it stays with Stewart.
And Josh, a little unorthodox, but good transition defense there from Addie Fisher. Not an easy thing to do right there, but she did a great job just contesting.
Stewart inbounding, floats it in. That's Bizagno, left-handed bounce. Picked up by Newman. Newman drives in the paint, spins through, wants to take it herself. Now mid-range shot attempted, no good. Adams gets a hand on it and gets the rebound, looking for help, and finds Aubrey Fisher down the left side. Goes over to Addie Fisher, dribbles in, steps through, off the glass. Doesn't get a favorable roll, and it's picked up by Wallace and Stewart now on the offensive.
And Josh, East just cannot get anything inside to go. If I'm Coach Taylor, I'm telling them, I don't care if you're in transition, pull it out unless you're wide open.
So some substitutions here. Number 44, nominate Bridges, and number 12, Neely Cook, both back in for the Lady Rebels. So Cam, to your point, this Stewart County roster has so much depth, certainly more so than the Lady Eagles. So if this becomes an endurance test, it might favor the Rebels.
Yeah, Josh, that's the only thing that I would be afraid of for East. This first half has been one that has just been filled with adrenaline and transition, and it's not been easy. But I will say this, it might not matter, because with adrenaline this high, you might not get tired.
And Ruby Cox denies the shot attempted by Newman underneath. Now Cox takes it herself into the paint, dishes off. Adams dribbles in, steps through, lost the handle of it, and she's called for the walk. Number 44, Hannah Manor, checking in for the Eagles. Number 21, Brooklyn Adams, subbing out. So left side of the floor, it's Jalen Newman. Gives. Bridges. At the right wing, looking for help and finds it. Nelson drives in mid-range, just shy of the free throw line, no good. Rebounded by Cox. Now it's Cox. Gives to Caps. Caps floats it back to Cox in the paint, backing down, spins through, off the glass, shot won't go. A whistle blows and a foul is called And I believe that will send Ruby Cox back to the free throw line. The foul's against number 44, Nominee Bridges. A minute and 20 to go in the first half.
Josh, every shot at the free throw line in this basketball game is going to be a huge shot. Because Ruby Cox misses another free throw. At this point, you can tell the whistles aren't going to be blown a ton. So, because of that, as she knocks down the second, because of that, free throws are going to come at a premium. You have to knock them down.
Ruby Cox with 11 points on the night. So it's Newman, guarded by Fisher, gives out to Nelson. Nelson in the paint. Cap's got a hand on it. The shot is no good. Now Cox down the floor to Addie Fisher. And Newman flies in from behind and knocks it loose. And Caps guarding Nelson. Nelson wants to go all the way, no good. But Wallace flies in to get the rebound. The putback is no good. And it's out of bounds off of East Hickman.
Josh, this game is physical. I'll say that. They're
Wallace, corner three, no good. But it may as well have been a pass to Newman, who misses the layup. But she is fouled and will shoot a pair.
Josh, this Stewart County offense cannot get anything going because this East defense has just played absolute. All they can do, they're, just on the floor in every single passing lane, just hustling. Giving 100% can take you a long way in any sport.
So Jalen Newman at the line is successful with both free throws. Stewart back in the lead, 19-18, 40 seconds to play in the first half. Caps, dribbles left, gives, Fisher, mid-range two, can't get it to fall, and it's rebounded by McKaylee Wallace. Now it's Newman down the floor for Stewart. Driving it on Terlecki, spins through, looking for help, gets it out to Wallace. Wallace hands off to Newman. 15 seconds, Newman at the free throw line, gives out to Nelson. Nelson to Wallace, drives, wants a mid-range two, will go. So 8 seconds, East has to hurry, but Stewart gets the takeaway. Newman nails the mid-range two. Fisher, and the time will expire in the second quarter as Stewart County ends it with all the momentum. So as we enter into the break, your score, Stewart 23, East 18. We'll be right back.
Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Tavern style pizza is our thing.
Why couldn't you be happy with deep dish like all the tourists? That's good.
And you just had to make it so crispy and delicious.
It's perfection.
They put the toppings all the way to the edge.
It's cut in the shareable square.
That's delicious.
What's your deal, Pizza Hut?
Your secret's out, Chicago. Try any of our large Chicago tavern-style recipes for just $12 each.
Hey, Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Sorry, Chicago. No one out pizza's the Hut.
Apology accepted.
and welcome back to WNKX. There's just under a minute and a half to go before we resume action. East Hickman currently trails Stewart County 18-23. And Cam, a big point we saw earlier was that for a brief moment, the Hickman County student section and the East Hickman student section came together. And Cam, a lot of the Hickman County faithful of Centerville would probably see the Hickman County boys and girls sitting with East and call that a great heel turn. But Cam, it's been a weekend of heel turns. As we saw on Saturday night, John Cena, of course, known babyface in the WWE professional wrestling, he turned heel for the first time in his career and has been making waves on the internet.
Josh, I could not believe what I was watching on, what was it, Saturday night?
Saturday night.
I could not believe what I was watching Saturday night. It was an absolute, I don't even have the words to describe it. John Cena, the arguably in some people's view, the GOAT, right? The nice guy, right? He does Make-A-Wish stuff. He does all these wonderful charitable deeds. He turned heel. Okay, this is the biggest news in sports, maybe history.
See, Cam, I feel like we would have been remiss if we didn't mention it. So we won't cover it too much, but we did have to make that known to you. For those of you that are wrestling fans out there, even if you're not a wrestling fan, you probably heard about it. But that's the past,
it was the top story on SportsCenter this morning, Josh.
And Cam, based on how this game has been playing, this might be the top story on ESPN tomorrow with how physical and how aggressive these two teams have been going at it.
Right there's a great example.
So we are starting off right where we left off.
Physical.
Within the first 10 seconds of the third quarter, bodies are already hitting the floor as Cox will throw it in near her own bench. So Cox had 11 points in the first half, the leading scorer for these Lady Eagles, inbounds to Caps. Caps, we haven't seen her break the score column yet, but we know it's bound to happen at some point. The pass is tipped out of bounds by Nelson.
And Josh, two things for East that I want to see. I want to see more shots, particularly from inside the arch from Ruby Cox, and I just want to see Kelsey Caps just take more shots.
So Stewart with the turnover, driving, given, long two, attempted, and it's good. Faith Dacus widening the gap. Looking for Adams, but it's deflected out of bounds by Wallace of the Lady Rebels.
And Josh, at times, East, especially late in that second quarter, got a little sloppy with the basketball. That cannot happen. They have to take care of it if they want to stay in this game.
And stepping through was Addie Fisher, driving to the rim. A lot of contact and a foul is called. They'll get Nominee Bridges. So Cam, very interesting call there. I mean, it looked like her arms were straight up in the air. What drew that call right there?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure, Josh. But it looks like they changed the call to be on the floor, which is still odd to me. If you're going to call it was on a shot, so.
Addie Fisher was looking for the other Fisher, Aubrey, but it's tipped out of bounds. Off the hands of Stewart, so we'll stay with East, and Cox inbounds to Fisher. Fisher near the logo, met by Newman. Back to Cox. Right wing floats it, Caps, right elbow, dribbles in, pulls up. Won't go. Rebounded by Nelson.
And I love that take there by Kelsey Caps. She needs to keep shooting that shot just so she can get herself in a rhythm. She didn't shoot much in that first half. It's going to take a couple of shots to get back in the rhythm of shooting.
Corner three. Off the mark. Rebounded by Aubrey Fisher. Now the Eagles down the floor. Pass. Addie Fisher. 3-on-1. Off the glass. No good. Adams' putback is no good. And it's rebounded by Dacus.
And Josh, those easy opportunities have to be capitalized.
Another corner three. At this time it falls for the Lady Rebels. McKaylee Wallace. Adams. With a lot of pressure bearing down, Coach Taylor takes a timeout. And that will be a full timeout called by East Hickman. So Cam, East Hickman did not get off on the right foot to start this third quarter. If you're Coach Taylor, what are you telling your girls right now?
I am telling Ava Cox, you go get the basketball and take care of it, right? We've seen turnovers from the younger girls, right? These Fisher twins, they're freshmen, right? They're experienced freshmen, but nonetheless, they are freshmen. So, and they've made a couple of turnovers. Let them get settled in the offense by telling Ruby to go take care of the basketball. Then I'm looking at Kelsey Capps, and I'm saying, Kelsey, I need you to be aggressive, right? I didn't see much of you in the first half. I need you to be aggressive. Those are their top two go-to scorers, so they're gonna need them down the stretch.
I think if you're Coach Harper of Stewart County, I think you tell them more of the same. They've been playing great defense thus far in this second half, and they've been converting on the offense. Addie Fisher gives Adams outside the arc, guarded closely by Newman, gets it out to Cox. Quickly, Addie Fisher from three, no good, as it hits off the glass short of the rim. Quickly down the floor, an easy layup for Dacus, and she gets it to go.
And
So
Josh,
this has been a Lady Rebel onslaught to start this third quarter.
Josh, you know that this is not what Coach Taylor had planned. But that might be right there from Kelsey Capps getting in the lane.
An aggressive drive there by Capps, Cam. Pretty much on cue from what you said earlier. She needs to be more aggressive, does so right there. It's a 10-point ball game. Wallace drives in the paint, pulls up from two, no good. Rebounded by Capps. Capps down the right side. Gives Fisher baseline, jumps through, the shot won't fall. Addie Fisher gets it off the glass, no good, and rebounded by Angie Nelson. In the corner three, no good. Cox with the board. Gives to Fisher down the right side. Fisher drives, and a charge is called.
And Josh, that's the right call, but she has to understand she could see her setting up way before she got there. Use some kind of move to see if you can get her to move her feet so you can get a foul there.
So Stewart County takes over following the offensive foul. Nelson gives, Cook drives in, off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Cox. Cox has it knocked away by Newman as it hits off the scorer's table. So it will stay with East Hickman. But an anxious moment there as Stewart almost had yet another turnover. Fisher to Cox. Back to Fisher. Cox floats it into Capps, and a lot of contact made by Bizogno underneath.
And Josh, Coach Taylor just pulled Ruby Cox to the side. I couldn't read his lips, but if I guessed, I would say he said, take that, play ball, something along the lines of, go take that shot right there. You had opportunity.
And Capps' shot was well contested, no good. Now it's Stewart down the floor. Adams on defense. The shot is up, no good by Dacus. And it's picked up by Fisher. Now Capps down the right side. Finds Addie Fisher, a high ball, but corralled. Drives in off the glass, doesn't get it, but Cox gets the rebound, and the putback is good by Ruby Cox.
Yeah, and a great job there by Ruby to come up almost from nowhere and grab that offensive rebound.
So East is trying to scratch and claw back into this one with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Cook to Dacus. Dacus drives and hands off to Nelson. Nelson in the paint. Dacus from three. No good. Rebounded by Cox. Now it's Capps on the right side. Newman in pursuit. Capps goes behind the back and gets it out to Fisher, and a foul is called against the Lady Rebels. They'll get Faith Dacus, the sophomore. And another substitution here for Stewart County. McKaylee Wallace comes in for Carly Bizogno. So Cam, it looks like the strategy for Stewart County this quarter has been tire out East. Use a lot of frequent substitutions, keep the fresh legs on the floor.
Yeah, Josh, I've noticed that pattern as well. And with the lack of depth from East, I think the coach is almost just trying to wait them out, but he doesn't know that East doesn't quit.
So Capps' three is no good, picked up by Newman down the floor. Now top of the key, dribbles back to the volleyball line and sets up. Newman directing traffic. Adams playing her close. Gives off to Cook. Cook to Dacus. The corner tries to float it inside to Nelson, but nice defense there by Kelsey Capps to deflect it out of bounds.
And Josh, that's really one of the first times, especially in this second half, that we've seen Stewart County really run a set on offense.
Stewart inbounds, Newman gets it to that right corner. Now Cook goes wing to wing over to Dacus, now back to Newman. Under 3 minutes to play in the third. Driving, kicks it, open three from the corner. No good as it rattles in and out. And a foul is called against Stewart County. So that was the fifth foul called against Stewart County. The guilty party was number 10, McKaylee Wallace, and that, of course, that being the fifth, sends Cox to the line. And she knocks down the first. Number 2's on the way, and that rattles in.
And Josh, good to see Ruby find herself again at the line. She's not been great at the line the last couple of attempts, so seeing her knock those couple down is a really good sign.
That's Newman driving into the paint, throws it over the head of Cox, and it falls. Count it and one as the whistle blows, and that sends Newman to the line to try to complete the three-point play. And what a shot, Cam. Of course, two defenders on her, still gets it to go.
Yeah, Josh, that was a tough finish right there. Just a great job by that young lady.
The free throw is up and good. So 33-24, Stewart County leads by 9. Fisher dribbles in, gives to Capps. Capps looking, finds Aubrey Fisher from 3, no good. Out of bounds off the hands, I believe, of Ruby Cox, and it will be Lady Rebel ball.
Josh, East had a really good look right there, just didn't capitalize on the take. They look just, I don't know, it's like they're trying to play perfect offense right now.
And a whistle comes in, and it'll be a foul against East Hickman. The foul will be against number 4, Kelsey Capps. The third foul of the quarter for East Hickman. The first free throw is no good by Nelson. Just under 2 minutes to play in our third quarter. The second free throw is good. So we have ourselves a 10-point ball game.
And Josh, East can find their way back in this ball game. We've seen it before.
Capps from 3, no good. And Stewart with some great boxing out there to secure the rebound. Now it's Newman once again met by Adams. Gives, Nelson drives. A floater of sorts is no good, and it goes out of bounds off of Stewart, East ball.
Now, Josh, if I'm Coach Taylor, I am trying to create something so that Ruby or Kelsey can get a shot right here. I don't mind the takes from the other girls. You've got to be balanced on offense. And Ruby with just a pass off the mark a little bit, and it'll be going Stewart County's way.
A very uncharacteristic pass there from Ruby Cox as it goes off the hands of Fisher. And she was open, so might have been a good look there, but unable to capitalize, and another mistake leads to a Wallace corner three, and she knocks it down. So the East Hickman miscue turns into Stewart County points. Fisher baseline, looking for help in the paint. Nobody home. It's picked up by Stewart. They're fighting for the ball. No jump, they call the foul.
Josh, I think in literally any other game, that would have been called a jump ball.
I'm heightened to agree with you, as that's again Kelsey Capps with her third of the night. So back-to-back fouls there by East, both committed by Capps, and she is a player they do not want to lose going forward with the rest of this ball game. 30 seconds remain in the third quarter. Dacus drives into the paint, kicks it. Wallace, left wing three. Comes up short, rebounded by Fisher. 20 seconds. And East in a must-score situation. Aubrey Fisher splashes the three.
And Josh, that is a huge three to cut it to a 10-point lead.
Newman drives, steps through off the glass, an easy two for Stewart. East has to hurry. Cox puts it up. I believe the shot was waved off. I don't think she got it off. But at the end of the third quarter, your score, Stewart 39, East 27. 1 quarter to decide who will play in the regional championship game. We'll be right back on WNKX.
Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Tavern style pizza is our thing.
Why couldn't you be happy with deep dish like all the tourists? That's good.
And you just had to make it so crispy and delicious.
It's perfection.
They put the toppings all the way to the edge.
It's cut in the shareable square.
That's delicious.
What's your deal, Pizza Hut?
Your secret's out, Chicago. Try any of our large Chicago Tavern-style recipes for just $12 each.
Hey, Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Sorry, Chicago. No one out pizza's the Hut.
Apology accepted.
So we are underway with the fourth quarter. Stewart County with the ball, and they have a double-digit lead. They lead by 12. Dacus tries to extend it, shot no good, picked up by Cox. Down the floor, Capps, or no, it was Brooklyn Adams rather, my mistake. A little bit of indecision there, and yet another turnover for these Lady Eagles.
Josh, how many times have we seen that indecisiveness leads to turnovers or bad things? In a game like this, you have got to be, even if you're not sure, you have to at least act like it, right?
Dacus the right wing. Momentum resting solely with the Lady Rebels right now. So Stewart in no hurry, but they still find Dacus on a nice back cut and a beautiful pass by Newman to tack on 2 more for the Lady Rebels.
Yeah, and that's just good offense right there. They knew the East was jumping passing lane, so they took advantage of the over-aggressiveness.
Cam, we know we have seen East Hickman complete crazier comebacks, but they're playing a little out of themselves right now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a panic right now, Josh. They're down 14. They're not out of the ball game. Like you said, we've seen them come back from big deficits, but it's going to take somebody, more than likely Ruby, to grab the basketball and take control of it.
And Cox deflects the pass out of bounds. Bridges was looking for Newman on the right side. And I do want to thank our student-led production crew here tonight on the camera and our producer. Of course, that's what makes WNKX so special. It gives these young kids opportunities to learn and to get experience in the field of production.
And other places we won't name don't.
Corner three, knocked down again. Cam McKaylee Wallace is on fire.
Yeah, Josh, she's in a cycle right now. She airballs one, and then she touches only the bottom of the net on the next.
Caps, dribbles, drives, bounces out to Fisher, now to Cox. Tries a deep three, short. And a timeout is called by Coach Taylor. And with a few ticks under 6 minutes left to play, things looking dire for the Lady Eagles.
And Josh, my thing is that Ruby has a deep enough bag that she can make her own shot. She can get a better look than that. I want to see her do that. I know she has the ability. We've seen it throughout the year. We especially saw it when they had those multiple giant comebacks in the district tournament, right? So I think that, you know, and I want to see her take kind of priority right here at work. I don't even care if it's her. Somebody needs to take priority and say, I'm gonna take us there.
So Stewart in possession. And she lets it fly. It's a dot to McKaylee Wallace. Tom Brady-esque. Wallace. Some tough defense being played there by the Eagles. They try to force a jump ball, but instead a foul will be called. Waiting for the official to signal on who they'll get. And they'll get number 3, Aubrey Fisher. That'll be the first foul of the quarter. It's Newman on the other end of the floor. Guarded by Adams. Wallace up top at the volleyball line. 5.5 to play.
And Josh, you got to think part of this surge by Stewart County in the second half is just the fatigue of East. I don't know that they've made a substitution the entire second half.
That's a great point, Cam.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. They're a talented group, but it's tough.
The three attempted there by Stewart is no good. Picked up by Aubrey Fisher. Cox quickly to Caps, back out to Fisher. Dribbles inside, steps through, puts up a shot, no good. Caps tried to save it, but I believe it was tipped out of bounds by a Stewart County defender, as it will stay with the Lady Eagles. And the whistle blows and a timeout is called by Stewart County.
And Josh, down 17 with 4 minutes and 54 seconds. Is it impossible? No. But something is gonna have to change. They're doing the same thing over and over and over again on offense. And at some point you gotta think to yourself, if it hadn't worked yet, it's probably not gonna work. Switch something up. They gotta change looks here. I don't know where East needs to switch it up at. I don't know what they need to do, but there has been just an unassured feeling on the offensive end this entire second half from them.
So East gets into Cox, quickly to Fisher from 3, high arcing shot, it falls. Nothing but net for Aubrey Fisher, her second 3 of the night.
And
So
Josh,
those kinds of shots that East needs to get back in it.
we see East now in a press. They just basically have to press as the young lady from Stewart County steps out of bounds.
So that aggressive defense forces an error there from the Lady Rebels. And hopefully East can get the momentum to shift in their way. But a turnover there for Newman. Floats it. Dacus walks into the paint and gets the layup for 2. And a steal. Newman takes it back. Fisher was looking for Cox. So Cam, just when it looks like something was going right for the Lady Eagles, a couple of quick plays and Stewart County takes the momentum right back.
Yeah, Josh, it's just Not doing the little things right. To get back in a basketball game, you have to do all the little things right. Is that an easy thing to do? Absolutely not, but it's something you have to do.
And the shot is up no good there, attempted by Newman, but she is fouled and will shoot a pair. A little bit of a limp there from Newman. She might have landed awkwardly. So hopefully she's all right. The shot is up and good. Second free throw falls in as well, so Newman goes 2 for 2. It's an 18-point ball game. Cox to Fisher. Addie drives inside the arc, lost it. And Newman tried to secure the loose ball, but it goes off her hands out of bounds, so it will stay with the Lady Eagles.
Josh, and another turnover from East Hickman.
And Dacus in the paint stops her momentum, but shuffles the feet, and a walk is called on what would have been an easy 2 for the Lady Rebels.
Josh, somehow they have got to get Kelsey Capps or Ruby Cox a look. They've shot the basketball once in probably the past 10 possessions.
And Fisher's 3 is no good, but Cox flies in, gets the rebound and the putback 2.
Ruby Cox gets 2 on the board for East Hickman.
Driving in, Nelson. Pushes off of Capps, no call. And it's out to Wallace. Nelson lost it. Now it's Adams down the floor, one-on-one. The layup is good.
Josh, and a great job there by Adams to make sure she made the easy one.
So 14 points. Wallace thought about pulling up, but gives it back out to Newman. Now Bridges up top. Now Dacus. And a foul is called against Adams off ball. So that's 4 fouls on the quarter for the Eagles. And that will be Adams' 5th, and she is fouled out. And that brings back in Lauren Terlecki, who I'm surprised we haven't seen more of. Of course, you know the team is fatiguing. She's a very talented young player.
Yeah, she is, Josh, but just physically out there, all the Stewart County girls are just more physical than she is. Can't necessarily match that, but even then, she does a lot of little things really well. So I agree with you. Probably would have rotated her in a little bit more.
Cox drives in, mid-range 2, no good. And a foul is called against number 23, Ruby Cox. And that is the 5th foul on the Lady Eagles this quarter, so they will shoot free throws, even though it wasn't a shooting foul, and that's 3 fouls on Cox.
You know, Josh, Stewart County student section has shown up bountifully for their team. But one thing that they don't possess is much creativity. We have now heard "This Ain't Football" chant for the 8th time tonight. My word, that horse is dead already.
I mean, technically they are correct. I mean, we aren't playing football.
I guess they're just real truth seekers here. We are indeed, as you said, not playing football. They do have a point there.
So Bridges knocks down the second free throw. So 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play. East down, and another turnover. So things just going from bad to worse, and they have to foul. And they'll get number 3, Aubrey Fisher.
Josh. Okay, yeah, they do give it to Aubrey Fisher. I thought they might have given it to Ruby. Ruby's in a situation, I believe she has 3. I might be mistaken. She does have 3, so do you be careful a little, but you also got to play. I mean, you got 2 minutes, 28 seconds till your high school career could possibly end, so.
Of course, no Ruby Cox as being a senior leader on this team. Addie Fisher's 3 is no good, but Cox runs it down. Dribbles baseline, tosses it up, no good. No call, and Dacus now takes it out. And a timeout is called. So just over 2 minutes to play. Cam, this lead looking more insurmountable as the clock ticks away in this one.
Yeah, Josh, you know, at this point in the game, unless you have just magic happen, which it is March, Josh. It is March. But is it this much March? I don't know. It's tough. As it's come down to the end of the game, East just has not played within themselves. I'll say that. They have not played a bad basketball game. They're just not within themselves. They've made some decisions that were not the best decisions down the stretch. You can see where their usefulness and lack of depth played into it. But nonetheless, I will say this. You know, Ruby being, I believe, the lone senior on the team, she has nothing to be ashamed of in this basketball game. Yes, it stinks that the last game of your career is playing out like this, but also she should not be ashamed.
So under 2 minutes, Stewart will be in time crunching mode as Caps with the foul there to stop the clock. That will send Angie Nelson to the free throw line. That will be Caps' 4th foul. The first free throw is good. And the second also falls. So with this deficit nearing 20 points, Fisher over to Addie, was looking for Cox. Miscommunication, and it sails out of bounds. Another turnover. No logo, Wallace gives to Nelson. And Cox gets the takeaway. Driving into the paint. An easy layup for Ruby Cox. As this young lady continues to play her heart out on the floor in what you said, Cam, could be her final ball game in an East Hickman uniform.
Yeah, Josh, and again, you don't want it to go out like this, but again, she has nothing to be ashamed of. She certainly has left it all out on the floor tonight. She has been playing on her offensive player great all night. She's been in a help side in every situation all night. She hasn't missed a rotation defensively. She hasn't missed a beat offensively. She might have had one turnover. Just a good, solid basketball game, and one that I don't know that anybody would be ashamed to go out on.
So Ruby Cox with 19 points on the night, 1 point shy of 20. And if this is her final performance as a Lady Eagle, it's been a good one. Cox guarding Newman. And a takeaway. It's Addie Fisher down the floor. Layup is up, good, and one, count it. So Addie Fisher will go to the line to try to complete the three-point play with 1 minute and 6 seconds left to play.
Josh, It's a move in the right direction, but a move a few minutes too late, I'm afraid.
The free throw is no good. Stewart on the right side. The clock ticks under a minute. Newman dribbling around, gives to Wallace. And Coach Harper screaming at his girls to dribble it out to create some space. This clock can be drained down to 0. Wallace gives to Nelson near the volleyball line. Caps guarding her. Under 30 seconds. So Cam, I think we should give all the credit in the world to this Stewart County girls team. I mean, they have come out looking strong in this regional tournament. I mean, they're riding off of that huge win against Huntington, that upset win which gave them a district title. So Cam, we know in sports momentum can be at 99% of what makes up a basketball game and what can give you success. So Stewart County will be a very tough team to beat in this regional championship game on Wednesday. But we know if there's any team that can do it, it's the Cheatham County Lady Cubs, who are riding off a huge win of their own tonight against Huntington.
Yeah, Josh, you're absolutely right. I would not be at all surprised to see one of the best matchups we will get to watch all year between those Stewart County girls and the Cheatham County girls.
So your final score here, ladies and gentlemen, Stewart County 53, East Hickman 38. So the Lady Eagles have been officially eliminated from the regional tournament, but a valiant effort indeed. Of course, give all the credit in the world to those young ladies for making it this far. A great performance tonight from Ruby Cox in what is her final game as an East Hickman Lady Eagle. But as we know, she is committed to Bryan College, so we know it won't be her final basketball game. Just her last as a high school player, which can be emotional. It can make your heart heavy in its own right. For those of you that have played high school sports, you know what that's all about. But now if you're Coach Taylor and the rest of the girls, you look forward to next year, you make corrections, you tighten things up, and you look to come back even better next season. But folks, that will do it for me and my broadcast colleague Cameron Peters here from J.E. Siska Memorial Gymnasium. We'll be back with you tomorrow night as the Hickman County boys will be back in action in the regional semifinals to determine who will be playing in Thursday's championship game for the boys. So a lot of great basketball left this week. I promise you won't want to miss a single solitary second of it. But until then, for Cam, I've been Josh Copley with WNKX on YouTube. We must bid you adieu, goodbye, and good night.